You're staring at your banking app. $14.22. That's it. That's the surplus until Friday. Then you open YouTube, and some guy in a Patagonia vest sitting in a glass office tells you to follow the 50-30-20 rule. 50% to needs, 30% to wants, 20% to savings. And you look at your life. $1,200 in rent, $400 in groceries, a $2,200 paycheck. The math isn't tight. It's impossible. Following that rule would mean choosing between electricity and eating. So, no, you're not failing. The advice is failing you. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, hit like. This series is about getting your head above water. Now, let's flip the script. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, you don't need a cute budget. You need a survival pivot. In this video, I'm going to show you how to stack your first $1,000 in under 30 days, even if it feels like there's nothing left to cut. And no, we're not talking skip lattes. We're talking about money leaking out of your life while you're busy trying to survive. I call it the ghost tax, invisible drains that keep the poor. By the end, you won't just have a plan, you'll have an edge, so your bank balance stops being panic and starts becoming oxygen. 3 moves. First, plug the leaks. Second, build a $500 dignity fund. Third, launch a weekend micro-income counterattack. Let's be honest. Most financial advice feels like it's written in a language you don't speak. They call it lifestyle creep. You call it, I'm just trying not to drown. And that's why the 50-30-20 rule collapses the moment it touches real life. Here's the base problem. When your rent is $1,200 and your take-home pay is $2,400, your needs aren't 50%. They're 75%. Before you even talk about gas, insurance, food, meds, childcare, or the random fee your bank invents to punish you for being poor. That leaves you with $600 for everything else. So when someone says 30% for wants, it doesn't sound motivational. It sounds like a prank. You're not buying Gucci. You're buying generic cereal, so you can afford the commute. And then comes the scarcity trap. When you're broke, your brain goes into tunnel vision. You don't plan. You react. Every decision is made with an invisible alarm blaring in the background. Rent. 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 That's why people spiral. Not because they're weak, but because constant financial stress eats your attention, your patience, and your willpower. A colorful spreadsheet won't put out that fire. A perfect budget is a luxury for stable people. When you're in a hole, you don't need a map of the forest. You need a ladder. Now, I know what you're thinking. Here comes the part where he tells me to sell my car and eat beans for 3 years. Wrong. If you try to live like a monk overnight, you'll burn out in 2 weeks. Spend $200 on a comfort food spree and end up poorer than when you started. Saving money while poor isn't about deprivation. It's about resource redirecting. Moving money from dumb drains into a safety buffer that protects you from chaos. That's where the ghost tax lives. The ghost tax is everything siphoning your life while you're busy surviving, the $15 subscription you forgot to cancel, the $4 monthly maintenance fee your bank charges just to hold your own money, the overdraft landmine, the late fee, the delivery app markup, the 22% interest rate on a card that's eating your future. These aren't just numbers. These are hours of your life being sold without your permission. Picture a bucket. Your paycheck is the water. You think you need a bigger faucet, a raise, a new job, a miracle. But look at the bottom of the bucket. It's full of pinholes. If you don't plug the holes first, a bigger paycheck just leaks faster. Example, if you have a $500 credit card balance at 25% interest, you're not paying a bill. You're paying for the privilege of staying broke. That interest isn't just money, it's time. It's you working hours today so you can keep treading water tomorrow. And every fee is the same story. A bank fee here, an interest charge there, a small subscription you never notice. Together, they become a tax on being poor. So how do you stop the bleeding when you're already wounded? We implement shock savings. This is not a lifestyle change, it's a 30-day tactical strike designed to get you breathing again. The goal is simple. Create a buffer so you stop living one flat tire away from disaster. Step 1 is the survival audit. Pull your last 3 bank statements, not 1, 3. Because your brain will try to protect you from the truth. And you're not hunting for big expenses, you're hunting vampires, small recurring drains that bite you every month. Gym membership you don't use? Cancel it. Premium cable you don't watch? Cut it. App subscriptions? Gone. Bank account fees? Switch banks? Or call and demand a waiver. And you'd be shocked how often fees disappeared when you ask like you mean it. Now here's the secret most gurus won't tell you. You don't win by never spending, you win by substituting. The substitution rule says don't stop eating out. Change where and how. If you spend $15 on a lunch special, you're paying for convenience. If you spend $6 on a store meal and a bottle of water, you're paying for fuel. That's not deprivation, that's strategy. And the difference isn't a few bucks. It's your future. Your first goal is not wealth. It's $500. I call this the dignity fund. Because $500 covers the stuff that usually humiliates you into debt. A flat tire, a broken microwave, a surprise copay, a work uniform. The unforeseen nonsense life throws at you when you can't afford surprises. When you have $500 in a separate account, one you don't have a debit card for, the world smells different. You stop being a victim of circumstance and start being a manager of crisis. And you don't build this by hoping money is left at the end of the month. You build it with automated theft. The second your paycheck hits, you move $25 immediately. Not later, not after bills, immediately. Because if you wait, that $25 evaporates into a gas station snack, coffee, or a treat your exhausted brain thinks it earned. Once your dignity fund exists, you'll feel something you haven't felt in a long time. Space. And space is where better decisions are made. But defense alone won't set you free. Plugging leaks and stacking a buffer is step 1. The next step is going on the counterattack. Because the way to save money when you're poor is to stop fighting with crumbs and start creating extra cash. Here's the counterattack. Stop asking your job to do 2 jobs. Your paycheck is for survival. Your micro income is for escape. That separation matters. Because the moment extra money mixes with daily life, it gets eaten by chaos. First, let's kill the myth that saving is the whole game. Saving is defense. Defense wins championships. But it doesn't score points. You can cut expenses down to a hard floor and send it. And then you hit reality. You can't go below 0. There's a limit to how much you can save, but there is no ceiling on how much you can earn. That's where most poor people advice fails. It's obsessed with tiny cuts and constant deprivation. I'm not telling you to settle. I'm telling you to demand margin. If you're living on the edge, an extra $200 a month isn't pocket change. It can be a 30% increase in your disposable money. And in the digital age, being broke while having an internet connection can be temporary. If you understand one thing, high turnover skills beat long-term dreams, skills, when you need cash fast. So don't look for a career change yet. Look for frictionless cash. Fast, repeatable, low-ego work. That pays quickly. Pick one of these for the weekend. Marketplace flip. List 10 items you already own. Old headphones, a chair, unused kitchen gadgets, a jacket you never wear. Price them to sell fast. Not to feel proud. Take clean photos. Meet in a public spot. Cash or instant transfer only. If you clear $150 to $300, that's your first brick. Local business social help. Walk into 2 local businesses with dead Instagram pages. Offer 2 posts and 4 stories per week for $100 to $200 a month. Your phone is the tool. Consistency is the product. Show them 3 quick sample posts on the spot. Most owners say yes because they're overwhelmed. Micro tasks online. Transcription, captioning, simple design, basic virtual assistant work. Not glamorous, reliable. Your goal isn't perfection. Your goal is the first paid task within 48 hours. Here's the rule. Every dollar from this counterattack goes into a no-touch account. Separate bank. No debit card, no instant transfers. Your job pays for today. Your micro income pays for freedom. That's the freedom engine. Now let's talk psychology, because consumer culture is designed to break your focus. Every billboard, every ad, every limited time offer. It's a calculated attack on your future self. They want you to feel behind, so you'll buy something just to feel equal. That's status suicide. You're killing your future to maintain a present image that doesn't even exist. Real wealth is quiet. Desperation is loud. The people who are actually winning, well, don't need you to think they're winning. So the moment you feel that pulse, new phone, new shoes, new adult car, ask the real question. Is this purchase buying me freedom or buying me approval? Adopt a war mentality and everything changes. You stop seeing a mall deal as a way to save 20 bucks. You see it as an attempt to steal 80 from your future. You start pricing purchases in hours of your life. Is this $50 dinner worth 4 hours at work? And if the answer is no, you walk away. Not because you're cheap, but because you're expensive. Your time is too valuable in a trade for a dopamine hit. Now we get tactical. Motivation is a feeling. Systems are a structure. And if you don't build a structure, you will leak willpower. Step 1. Zero-based extraction. Tomorrow morning, list every fixed cost. If it doesn't keep a roof over your head or water in your glass, it's under review. Call your internet provider and ask for the retention department. Threaten to cancel. Ask for a lower plan. Switch to prepaid phone. Cancel the auto renewals. You're not downgrading, you're reallocating. Step 2. Kill the ego spend. Everybody has one. The gym you don't use, the organic groceries that rot, the car payment that eats 40% of your income. If the car's eating your future, sell it and buy a beater. Drive that $3,000 tank with pride, because while others see an old car, you see $400 a month you just clawed back. Step 3. The physical envelope method. Your brain doesn't feel digital money. Swiping is painless. Handing over cash hurts, in a good way. For the next 30 days, pull your grocery and fun money in cash. Put it in 2 envelopes. When the envelope is empty, you stop. Period. That's not punishment. That's training. Step 4. The Great Wall of Savings. Do not keep savings in the same bank as checking. Put your dignity fund and no-touch account behind friction. 24 to 48 hours to transfer. That delay is not a bug. It's the feature that saves you from impulse. Now add one more layer. Financial ghosting. Ghost the people who only invite you out when it costs money. Ghost the emails and apps that trigger spending. Ghost the version of you that felt less than without the latest tech. You are not behind. You are rebuilding. And watch what happens when you have money in the bank. You walk differently. You speak differently. You stop being desperate at work. So you negotiate better. You stop being desperate in relationships. So you set boundaries. Saving money is self-respect. It's you telling the world, well, you don't own me. Listen, most advice pushes the 50-30-20 rule as the standard, because if you can't reach it, you'll assume you're broken and quit. And quitting keeps you consuming, borrowing, and staying trapped. But you're watching this because you're done being trapped. Your current bank balance is not your destiny. It's your starting line. Every dollar you save with shock savings is a brick in the fortress of your future. So here's your challenge. Write day 1 in the comments and tell me the first ghost tax you're canceling today. Then do one action before this video ends. Open your bank app, search subscription, and cancel one thing. Take the $500 challenge. Start today. I'll see you in the next one.